So are you letting me smash that Gwenessy? Or what?
You are not even white, nigga.
What's good, nigga? We back with another video. Back with another reaction to my boy 3C Films. Love, bro. Gotta shout out bro all the time, because he made good, honestly, good breakdowns in my opinion. I feel like nobody make breakdowns that like actually like, I feel like he actually has his own opinion that's like not like, oh my god, I like this, I like this, I like this, well, I don't like this, because everyone doesn't like this. You know, I feel like he has actual distinguished opinion. That's why I fuck with his videos and his content. So we back with 3C Films. He got a new video about Spider-Man fans are pissed at the Russo bros. And I already know what it's about to be talking about. It's apparently because the Russo bros had dropped like a post, because it was like the 10-year anniversary of Spider-Man being in the MCU. So they dropped a post and like dropped some like, I guess, interview like quotes or something. I forget like what all happened, but I think Joe Russo, I think, said something about like Spider-Man not being, basically he doesn't blame, or Peter Parker in this universe doesn't blame himself for Uncle Ben's death, because he said if that were the take in the MCU, he'd be a whole different character. He would be more like, you know, the Spider-Man I'm guessing that we come to know him in other adaptations. So for me, my opinion on it, you know, I kind of just in one ear out the other, because I don't think that was the intention when y'all made it. So I'm going off the basis of the intention of when y'all made it and how y'all made it, the way y'all made it, and not off of shit you saying after the fact in hindsight. So my personal opinion is, I think Uncle Ben did die. I think he did go through some type of, you know, Uncle Ben moment, but obviously that wasn't enough for him to fully become Spider-Man. I feel like he had to learn more. I just don't think Uncle Ben had that much of an effect on him in this universe, or we just don't touch on it. It's kind of just like a, you know, he died, but we don't really know like the ins and outs of what everything happened. So it's very much like a taboo. It's so weird. Uncle Ben is a taboo topic in a Spider-Man movie. It's fucking weird. But anyway, man, we finna get into it as always, man. Before we get into it, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you feel about this video. Let me know what other videos you want me to react to, because I'm always open, you know, trying to react to more shit. So, yeah, like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you know I'm posting videos. And before we get into it, as always, man, comic of the day. Cause without these comics, these movies, these TV shows wouldn't be getting made. So we gotta shout love to the comics, as always. But without further ado, man, let's get into this bitch.
It's been kind of a while since I've been a whiny Spider-Man fanboy, so why not get into that one more time? The Russo brothers have put out one of the craziest statements involving Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and although at the end of the day, while these comments don't really mean much of anything, they highlight again some of the reasons I wasn't too fond of MCU Spider-Man, but why I am so looking forward to Spider-Man Brand New Day and the kind of rebirth they're going to go through with his character. So please, let's try to be civil. Don't cancel me for my Spider-Man opinions, and tell me whether you agree or disagree with what the Russo brothers had to say.
I feel like before we get into it, I'm gonna agree with most of what he says, because I feel like me and him have kind of like the same opinions about Spider-Man. I've watched most of his like content about Spider-Man before, so safe to say it's gonna be a pretty good video.
Okay, so I was just scrolling. I was being a good little noodle when I just saw Joe Russo, one half of the Avengers Doomsday directors, comment about Uncle Ben and his relationship with Peter Parker in the MCU, and I had a crash out, admittedly. I had like 3 different tweets all within a 10-minute time span. If I was standing, I would have fallen to my knees and screamed in my living room. And those comments were, Joe Russo says Peter Parker wasn't responsible for Uncle Ben's death in the MCU. If he blamed himself for his uncle's death, I think he becomes a very different character. That would have been a different interpretation, a more intense interpretation of the character. Okay, wow, this is funny for a couple of reasons, okay? Now, the hate for MCU Spider-Man isn't a new thing. Many of you diehard MCU Spider-Man fans are aware of this. These aren't points I made or completely agree with, but a lot of the regurgitated points are, you know, Iron Boy Jr. falling under the shadow of Iron Man, being too tech-based, taking 3 movies to get to his actual origin and line of with great power comes great responsibility. At the end of the day, I know the majority of fans and people out there love Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and I would agree that Tom Holland is a good Spider-Man. But a statement like this, although it is only the opinion of Joe Russo, I am aware of that, okay? I'm not just twisting his words. I know it's just his opinion and his own headcanon, but this opinion he has perfectly fits Tom Holland's Spider-Man because Uncle Ben has been a thing that's barely mentioned.
It doesn't affect,
relevant
it's a taboo
or important to his character. That's been one of the big complaints from diehard Spider-Man fans is, where's our Uncle Ben? We need to see that old guy get shot and die on the street going, Peter, Peter. Okay, the animated Spider-Man movies were where canon events happen for a reason.
That's why I love that Spider.
Key points that create.
That's why Spider-Verse is peak, bro. I don't care what nobody got to say about nothing, bro. Spider-Verse, fuck what y'all got to say about MCU Spider-Man, but Spider-Verse is unequivocally some of the best Spider-Man content we've ever gotten in a movie, theatrical. Period. I don't care what nobody got to say about nothing.
Spider-Man, something like this, where you could easily fit it into Tom Holland's version of he didn't cause Uncle Ben's death like it is in his original comic and has been for the last 2 interpretations, whether it's Toby and Andrew. Peter Parker failing to take the responsibility of stopping the mugger that eventually leads to killing his uncle is a huge motivating factor for what fuels him to be Spider-Man and to take on that responsibility as a hero. I mentioned a second ago, it's funny that the Russo brothers made this comment because all the people that have usually been hating on MCU Spider-Man would say the Russo brothers should have directed the Spider-Man movie. The Russo brothers should have been the one to helm MCU Spider-Man. And a lot of that comes from the little bit that Spider-Man has been used under the Russo brothers, whether in Civil War, Infinity War. They get a lot of the nuanced details diehard Spider-Man fans have been begging for, and this also completely contradicts what happened in Civil War. In Civil War, by the Russo brothers, Peter literally gives a speech to Tony Stark.
Look, when you can do the things that I can.
That's literally what I said. I was just like, this happened in the movie, though.
That's literally him implying and talking about Uncle Ben's death. It's so weird that the Russo brothers had that in there, and now they're stepping away from it. And I get what the argument for diehard MCU fans is. It's a different interpretation. They can't all be the same. This is like a variant. But something like this, where it totally fits the character of Uncle Ben having nothing to do with his motivations or origins, isn't that like directly ripping apart a huge characteristic trait of the character? I joked around when this was put out there, like, this is like Batman's parents dying of cancer. You know, Batman's parents getting killed by a criminal on the street of Gotham fuels him to fight crime. They die by cancer, I guess he becomes a scientist.
That's what I'm saying.
Or in Superman, like if the Kryptonians were evil. Okay, well actually, that did happen. That did happen now. And you know, I joke around about that Superman situation, but that's where I finally find myself on the other shoe. Where diehard Superman fans are pretty pissed that James Gunn did that, made Superman's parents kind of evil and wanting him to rule Earth because they feel Jor-El being good and inspiring wisdom into Kal-El is important to that character. But because I'm just a casual Superman fan and I just want to see a hopeful, bright Superman movie, and it mostly does that, I'm not too pissed about it, and I'm looking at those Superman fans like a little whiny, the way some of you guys are looking at me about this Spider-Man stuff. But getting back to it here, I didn't want to make this video just to, again, be validated once more. Not that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is an awful interpretation, but to validate my feelings on why I feel sometimes disconnected to Tom Holland's interpretation, because everything leading into Spider-Man Brand New Day has only been confirming those weird feelings some of us got when watching the last 3 Spider-Man films. Uncle Ben not being a huge part of his origin and not learning that responsibility right away, and it taking 3 movies to the end of No Way Home for that to happen was like, okay, well, he was never really then Spider-Man. Even Kevin Feige had to make these comments where he said, I think there's a promise at the end of No Way Home that for as sad as it is that Peter is forgotten by everyone in his life, we are seeing for the first time in Tom Holland's Spider-Man stories him being
The first
a
time.
proper
Like Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
PS4
And I
Spider-Man.
totally feel that when looking at the trailers for Brand New Day. I'm thinking that must have been the key from the beginning. We never got to see Spider-Man completely suffer, and that early suffering we see either with Toby when Uncle Ben dies or with Andrew when Uncle Ben dies, that suffering is part of the attachment we grow with Spider-Man, why we see him as so noble, look
And
up to him and
relatable,
want to be him
compelling.
within his struggles. And because we didn't see that tragic thing happen until his third movie with Aunt May, and all of the trailers for Brand New Day show him suffering, alone, sad, looking at the love of his life be with someone else, it again reaffirms to me that just part of being Spider-Man is that
It's-
suffering,
yeah,
is that pain.
that
And I think
drama.
it'll be interesting for when like
Telling
MCU
you, bro,
fans who
Spider-Man is
already
the
love
drama,
Tom
bro.
Holland's movies and those 3 films, and they think people like us who complain or nitpick about this stuff are kind of crazy. I don't think they're ready for how much they're going to love Brand New Day, because it's finally including those elements that have been missing. I genuinely feel like they're gonna see the movie and be so blown away, love it, and it's because those elements are finally being included into the story, you know. And again, I bring all this up and I rant about it, not to tear down Tom Holland's Spider-Man. It's more just to get through to those MCU Spider-Man fans that look at us who kind of, you know, complain about the little details within Tom Holland's movies, that we're not crazy. There has been something missing from him. And when Russo brothers make comments like this, it's only proof how far from the core of the character the MCU took some liberties with that Spider-Man.
That's why-
I don't know, just my thought.
My thing I want to add to it, and that's why when Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man came out, that animated show, that Disney Plus animated Spider-Man show that came out recently with the 3D animation, when that show came out, everybody was like, "Bro, this is literally how they should have did Spider-Man in the MCU, bro. Why didn't they do MCU Spider-Man like this?" Had Norman Osborn black, had Spider-Man fit a modern context, but you still had him learning how to be a hero and had him be a hero for the community. We barely get that in the Spider-Man movie. We first movie we kind of got that, and in the second movie he took him to fucking Italy for whatever fucking reason. Like, it was just like, yeah, that's my main critique with that shit. It's like you want us to feel like he's his grounded street level hero when he's barely in his hometown. This nigga's barely in New York. What the fuck? The first movie we're getting, he's finally in New York, bro. Like, how are we gonna sit there and now be like, oh yeah, that was kind of how the interpretation was supposed to be anyway? It's like, no, y'all had the accurate Spider-Man adaptation. John Watts fucked it up. Now y'all have to just, you know, cling on to what John Watts did, because that's the trilogy now, so that's already set in stone. So y'all gotta just cling on to, oh yeah, that was the interpretation, because, you know, we would have did a darker one, you know, if that were the Uncle Ben route. It's like, no, nigga, that was the intention y'all had, but, you know, we gonna just let them niggas rock, let them rock. But that's just me, though. That's just me.
Just really had a little crash out and wanted to rant off about this. At the end of the day, I think I'll just always be looked at as an MCU Spider-Man hater, but I'm not. I like Tom Holland.
I'm not. That's what I'm saying.
Spider-Man everything. I just hate the look people give me, like I'm saying the earth is flat when I say Tom Holland isn't my
Facts.
favorite interpretation of Spider-Man.
He's not my
still a good
favorite,
one.
yeah.
He's still an enjoyable one. And Brand New Day will only validate me more. You guys
It's
hear
gonna
the
be
Russo
yes,
brothers comments.
thank
What do
you.
you make
It's
of
gonna
them? And how do you
validate
feel
me.
about, like, now that the
Facts.
John Watts trilogy is over, all these different creative minds are just now openly speaking about some of the flaws that have happened with Tom's movies?
Yeah,
You guys,
there's a lot of flaws. There's a lot of flaws, bro. It's not a crazy thing to say. And we back, man. You know what I'm saying? Good reaction as always by my boy 3C Films. But yeah, a lot of the stuff he's saying I agree with. That's why I fought with 3C, because I feel like he has like an opinion that, like, I feel like general people who like superhero shit kind of all, you know, kind of just have that colloquial like understanding, like, yeah, Spider-Man is the character who's tragic, goes through shit, his life is a drama. It's like Parker Luck, all that, that's part of his character. That's what makes him, why we root for him so much when he actually wins, when he actually beats the bad guy, when he actually gets the girl. It's like, it feels that much rewarding for the character and for the audience. So it's like, that's what we love about Spider-Man. So when we get Spider-Man when he's like not doing that, he's just too busy wanting to be a fucking Avenger the whole fucking time and not being the friendly neighborhood, you know, saving the girl out the car crash, or I don't know, doing something. Like it just felt like he always was like getting pushed to do these like gimmicky type things. It's like everything was like a gimmick around Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man and Friends, Spider-Man, Marvel team up. It's like that's not what I come for Spider-Man movies for. I want to see Spider-Man like go through some shit and teach me something about myself. That's what movie supposed to do. Movies are supposed to teach you about yourself. So it's like, why are we wasting Spider-Man, y'all biggest character, Marvel's Mickey Mouse, and y'all just making him like, oh yeah, Spider-Man's just, you know, his life is so perfect. He has that Stark Tech money, and that's like, bro, I don't want that. I'm telling you, bro, Destin Daniel Cretton finna cook on this movie. That's why I said this movie is my number one movie, bro. Number one. I be saying that every time I talk about Brand New Day. It's my number one movie, most anticipated movie this year. Cause I know it's gonna be good. Everything that I heard about this movie, everything Destin Daniel Cretton has said about this movie when he first announced it, he was talking about how he loved Spider-Man. His baby's first word was Spider-Man. Like talking about how he loves the what was it, like I forgot, the tragic humanity in the character or something like, I forget the exact phrase he said. But when I heard that phrasing, I was like, oh yeah, he gets Spider-Man. This nigga loves Spider-Man from like the Sam Raimi shit. Like he loves Spider-Man from the comics to the Sam Raimi stuff like that. Yeah, that's Spider-Man. That's what I think when I think of Spider-Man. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I heard that, I was like, yeah, he gonna cook. He gonna cook. I feel like he gonna cook. And I saw Brand New Day. I was like, I wasn't like all the way on board, but I was like, this gotta be some good shit. It's gotta be good, bro. And it's like Destin and Cretton. I was like, if it was all gonna be bad, at least we gonna have some fire ass fight scenes. But when I started hearing more about the details and like the little leaks before we got to the official trailer about like, oh, we're gonna recreate comic covers, I was like, isn't he gonna make the best Spider-Man movie, MCU Spider-Man movie ever? Like, he gonna make the best MCU Spider-Man movie? I was like, are we gonna really get that from Destin Daniel Cretton? He gonna be the MCU Spider-Man director from now on? Because I hope so. Then I see the trailer, I'm freaking out. I'm seeing everything I love. I'm seeing everything that niggas were talking about. Like, oh, they recreating comic covers, and I was like, oh my, this is what passion. This is what a nigga who is passionate about Spider-Man looks like. This is what a trailer is supposed to look like, bro. Make you excited, make you want to like fall in love with the character all over again. Like that's what Spider-Man. That's what I feel when I want to enjoy or see something that's like new, but like it's about a character I love, like a Spider-Man movie or a Batman movie or a Superman movie. Like I want to feel that feeling I got when I first watched it, when I first got introduced to the character, like that wonder. So I love how they're just doing it. I love the passion. I love that they're actually like, you know, adapting storylines that we haven't seen in Spider-Man movies before. We haven't seen the Spider-Man mutation storyline in a movie before. So I like that. I like they're doing new shit still. They're not just trying to retread the same Black Suit storyline, the same Green Goblin storyline, the same this storyline, you know. We're going to get some new characters, and I'm happy about that. So, yeah, everything he's saying I agree with. Like, I just don't feel like the Russo brothers that was the intention. I don't think that was their intention. I think their intention was to make him OG, like classical, you know, what we view as Spider-Man. But you know, John Watts had his grubby hands on the whole home trilogy, so he did his thing. No hate to bro, but you know, he didn't make Spider-Man movies that I felt were Spider-Man to me. So that's just me. But that being said, love this video. Thank y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe as always, man. Turn on post notifications so you know I'm posting more videos. I saw another video, I think 3C Films had posted about Daredevil, about how it leads in a brand new day. If you want me to react to that, please let me know in the comments if you're watching this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna probably get on that. I'm gonna react to something else before that, but you know, we're gonna get on that. I'm gonna react to some more DC Marvel stuff. Trying to get some videos that I'm kind of like putting in my little playlist so I can like go to each one and like make that another reaction, you know, another video. So just kind of working things out. But I appreciate y'all sticking with me as always, man. Until then, man. See y'all niggas.